you ever heard, or maybe you believe yourself, that man is made up of body, soul, and spirit? Usually people think that the real person is the soul or the spirit, and the body is just the material part of the person that can be discarded upon death. This is what leads to the idea that when a person dies, their soul or their spirit goes either to heaven or hell. But is this a biblical way of understanding the nature of man? Is the body of man simply a convenient way for our souls or spirits to get around? Does this understanding of the nature of man have any negative ramifications on our understanding of death and the afterlife? To find answers to these questions, let's look a little closer. The fact is, the Bible presents man as a psychosomatic whole. That's a fancy way of saying that the mind and the body are entirely connected. Man does not have a part of him, so to speak, that can be disconnected from the body. What this means is that a person's consciousness cannot be disconnected from the body. We learn this in Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, which says, "Then the Lord God formed man of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being." Notice that it says God formed the man. It doesn't say God formed the body of the man. And yet, what God formed was the body of the man. So there is a subtle truth here. Man is his body. He is not made up of body, soul, and spirit, but rather man is the body. The man comes alive when spirit or breath is given to him, as it says in Job 27 verse 3, "For as long as life is in me, and the breath of God is in my nostrils." But what about the soul? In Hebrew, the word to refer to a person is nephesh, which is sometimes translated in the Bible as soul. Or in the Greek, it's psyche, the same word from which we get the word psyche. Also, in Latin, the word for soul is anima, from which we get the word animate. In other words, all of these words convey that a living person is animated or functioning. So in this way, man does not have a soul, but rather is a soul, which is just the Hebraic way of referring to a person. The soul is you, animated. Also, soul refers to the life force within a person, and this life force is found within the blood. As it says in Leviticus 17:11, the life, nephesh or soul, of the flesh is in the blood. So without breath and blood, a man is not alive. Actually, the nature of man is analogous to a computer. The various parts of the computer are assembled, like a human body has various parts assembled together. The computer does not come alive until electricity flows through the various components. You can call the assembled parts the computer, just like the Bible calls the body itself the person. Without electricity, however, the computer won't function, just like a human body won't function without the breath of life and the life force within the blood. So human beings are essentially organic, sentient machines animated by the breath of life. If you accept this understanding of the nature of man, then your understanding of death and the afterlife should change as well. Check out the next episode as we'll look a little closer at the nature of death and specifically the nature of hell.